It had been a busy month on the island of Sodor. The coaches were packed with passengers. The buses were busier too. There was lots of coal and freight being delivered to the mainland as well. And Harold the helicopter was flying the sky, making sure no one was in trouble.
Order pleasant and correct! Time to return to base!
He announced. One morning, Percy pulled into Daira station, and Harold was sitting on his platform.
Hello there, chap. Are you busy today? Oh, I'm busier than ever, Harold. I long for a rest,
Percy said sadly.
Well, when you have a job like mine, there is not a time for lists. You're always on a call for emergencies,
said Harold. This made Percy cross.
Well, Harold, I don't have a job like yours, and quite frankly, I'm happy with what I do, so you can think you're better than me all you want, but the fact of the matter is, you're not. Don't you take it the wrong way, dear chap. I am just saying that I have no time to think about the lists. I am on the call all the time.
This made Percy even crosser.
I don't think about rest all the time. And if you excuse me, I have to go. Silly old bird. I wish it would fly away and never return,
Percy said to himself. Later that day, Harold's pilot came to see him.
Some hikers are going up the hills at Scarlowy today, so we must fly around there in case one of them gets hurt, so we'll be close.
Now that sounds like a good idea. That it shoot to the sky.
Soon Harold was in the air and he was flying towards the hills. Then, out of nowhere, a huge gust of wind hit them.
Hold in the mar!
Gasped Harold. The wind was strong, stronger than Harold ever felt before, and his pilot was struggling to keep him under control. But whatever Harold's pilot did, it was no good, and suddenly Harold started spinning round like a top. Then Harold started to fall to the ground.
Wait until I blink!
A small hurricane had hit Sodor, and trees and bushes have blown everywhere, and windows have blown out of houses, and all the trains had no choice but to stop. That evening the winds had died down, and the Fat Controller went to see Donald and Douglas.
Trees and bushes have blown on the lines. I need you to take the breakdown train and lift them out of the way. I want the railway to return to service again tomorrow, said the Fat Controller.
Do not worry about it, sir.
Tomorrow the railway will be running that clock like it again. The next morning, Percy arrived at Daira station. Donald and Douglas had got all the trees lifted off the lines, and all the engines were back working again. Percy looked over, and Harold wasn't on his platform.
Thank goodness! No whirly bird today to talk to!
Then Percy heard the station master and the porter talking.
Search parties are out everywhere. Him and his pilot are both missing. Oh, I pray both of them return safely.
Poor Harold. If only he would have known that there was gonna be a hurricane.
Percy couldn't believe what he had heard.
Oh no! Harold was caught in the hurricane yesterday!
Yes, sadly it's true, Percy, said his driver.
Where are the helicopters? They should be flying the sky looking for him! What if he's never found?
Cried Percy. There are search parties searching the island as we speak. I'm sure him and his pilot will be found, said his driver. Then a worried Percy left. Percy was worried about Harold for the rest of the day. That night in the shed, all the engines were talking about Harold.
It looks like the wind blew old Whirlywings away,
said Gordon.
Oh, I wonder where he went,
replied Henry.
Maybe the North Pole.
Or maybe Timbuktu?
Or maybe beyond.
Percy had heard enough.
Harold and his pilot are missing, and all you can do is make up jokes about it. Oh, Percy, my dear Percy, we're only trying to lighten up a bad situation. Nothing can lighten up this bad situation. A man is missing. A man that has a family. And my friend Harold is missing as well.
Your friend Harold? But Percy, you always complain about him.
But Henry, everyone complains about their friends. Don't we complain about each other if one of us are late at the junction?
Thomas is quite right. We all complain about each other. And as for Harold, he may be a bit of a nuisance at times, but we're all his friends, and we must all hope that he will be okay.
I always look in the sky to watch Harold fly by, and today it felt ever so strange not seeing him. I suppose you're right.
Gordon and Henry now felt very foolish. For the rest of the night, Percy hoped and prayed for Harold to return safely. But in the back of his mind, he knew that Harold could possibly be gone, and that the strong wind swept him away from the island that he loves, and possibly into great danger, and never to be seen fly in the skies again. The next morning, Scar Louie was puffing around the countryside. Then, him and his driver saw a man lying beside the track, and his driver quickly applied the brakes. Scar Louie's driver quickly ran over to the man.
I couldn't go any further. Take your time. What has happened? Asked Scar Louie's driver. The wind suddenly came out of nowhere.
Driver, look at his uniform. He is dressed like a pilot,
said Scar Louie.
Are you Harold's pilot?
Yes.
He's out there. You must help him. Yes, we will. But we're helping you first. You must go to a hospital right away. Me and the guard will lift you into the van and take you to Crovan's Gate right away, and then an ambulance can take you to the hospital.
Scar Louie was horrified.
You cannot do that. You can't move someone that is injured.
Absolutely, Scar Louie. You are correct. Me and the guard don't have any phones with us, so the guard can stay with the pilot, and then we'll go to the nearest signal box. It's not too far down the line.
Soon the Fat Controller had very important news for Percy.
Harold's pilot has been found, and he's been taken straight to the hospital.
Percy was relieved.
Oh, that is very good news.
And Harold was found as well. He's badly damaged, so he's been taken away to be mended.
Oh, I will be glad to see him again,
said Percy.
Do not worry, Percy. You and him will be bickering again in no time, said Bogo.
No, we won't, Bogo. I'm never going to argue with Harold ever again.
And at last the day came when Harold returned, and Percy quickly wished to see him. Harold's pilot was better as well, and he was very glad to be back at work.
Harold! Oh, Harold! I never thought I was gonna see you again. Hold on, it is great to be back, Percy. And I cannot wait to start this new job. New job? What new job? Where I'm not taking the post instead of you.
Percy was furious.
You? You can't! The post is my job! Wait a minute! You're joking, aren't you? Well, and we always a joke with our friends, don't we?
Percy smiled.
No, it doesn't, Harold. Especially when you joke with your best friend. But don't tell Thomas. He thinks he's my only best friend. But there's no harm in having two.